Hey, shalom. Welcome everyone.
Shalom ubraka. Wow, you sound excited. I'll ask how you're doing in a second. Just let me first welcome our listeners. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us.
We're so glad you're here. And yes, you're right. I am excited. Aren't you?
Let me guess. Haha, could it be the Elul atmosphere? You don't look like someone exhausted from waking up for Selichot.
Nope, not tired at all. That's exactly it. It's the vibe of Elul. Hamelech basadeh, hamelech basadeh.
That's wonderful. It reminds me of the Hasidic story about the Jew whose suit got stained right before meeting the king, and instead of panicking, he just smiled, cleaned off the spots, and kept singing joyfully.
Exactly. We're preparing to meet the king. How can we not be joyful?
You know what else this reminds me of? Maybe the most famous drasha that links Elul with this week's parsha, Shoftim. The pasuk says, "Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol sha'arecha." Judges and officers you shall appoint for yourself in all your gates. And as many have noted, Elul is the gate to the new year. Huh? When a person stands at this threshold, it's the perfect time to appoint judges and officers for oneself, in one's own gates. That's how we prepare for the year ahead, by inspecting what we let in, what we keep out, what we truly want, and by making conscious decisions with the strength to follow through on them.
Elul is an opportunity we should grab with both hands. It gives us the chance to do internal audit and reflection before we step into the new year.
Absolutely. You can really feel the connection to the parsha. So, shall we dive deeper?
Yalla, take us in.
Okay, so the command to appoint judges at the gates and officers to enforce their rulings seems, on the surface, to refer to a public legal system. But something stands out from the very first words. Titen lecha, you shall appoint for yourself. Singular.
Wait, is this a personal mitzvah? Or is it a societal command, a communal structure? Why is it addressed in such personal terms?
Many wonderful question.
Great, because I've got some more. What's the deeper role of these judges and officers? Not just technically running a state, but spiritually, morally. What role do they play in the Jewish vision of tikkun olam? And also, let's say, tikkun atzmi.
Mamish, great. Thanks for all of these. If we continue reading, we see b'chol sha'arecha, in all your gates. That sounds like physical locations, the city gates where business and justice were handled. But the commentators point out, these aren't just physical gates. They are also inner gates, mental, emotional, spiritual gateways. Your senses, your thoughts, your desires, each of these is a gate through which things enter your world. And at each of these gates, you are called to appoint a shofet, a judge to weigh, examine, decide, and a shoter, an enforcer who ensures that what the judge ruled actually happens.
Thanks, that makes a lot of sense. But don't forget my question about the public side.
Of course, Ein makra yotze midei pshuto, the pasuk's plain meaning still stands.
The personal reading, the lecha, doesn't replace the need for a real, functioning legal system. It just adds a layer, reminding each of us that justice begins within. At the same time, yes, the public legal system is essential. It serves as a national anchor, a higher address to turn to when local or internal judgment breaks down. You could imagine society as a building made of many stones. Each stone, each person, must be straight and sturdy. If each stone holds its shape, the whole building is strong. But of course, beyond the stones, there's also the foundation and the head contractor. That's the place Hashem will choose. And we'll get to that in a minute.
I'm ready. And it fits because just a few psukim later, we read, Ki yipale mimcha davar lamishpat. Rashi explains that yipale means hidden, separated, inaccessible. It's like pele, a wonder, something beyond grasp. So the psukim say, if a matter is too wondrous for you in judgment, And then it says, V'kamta v'alita el hamakom asher yivchar Hashem Elokecha bo. You shall rise and go up to the place which Hashem your God will choose.
Sometimes our gates, whether personal or public, aren't enough. Sometimes the meaning of justice itself becomes a pele, something remote, unclear, distant. In moments like that, we need to go beyond.
I wonder, what leads to such a moment? Is it chaos?
Good question. The pasuk hints at it, divrei rivot b'sha'arecha, disputes in your gates. There are times, more common than we'd like to admit, where even the courts themselves are in disagreement or confusion.
So, when the very place that's meant to resolve conflict becomes a source of conflict itself, then the law disappears into fog.
Right. But the Torah doesn't leave us lost. It says, V'kamta v'alita el hamakom. You get up and go to the place, hamakom, to the center of Torah, to the Sanhedrin, to the sages and judges of the generation. They will listen and investigate, and they shall tell you the matter of the judgment.
But here's something subtle and beautiful, and to me that's the big chidush. Even though this makom is chosen by Hashem, and the judges have ultimate authority, the process still happens down here, in human terms, grounded in the halachic system and the Torah's own methods for interpretation and judgment. It's not resolved by miracles, and it's not a verdict made in heaven.
You're right. The halachic process is grounded in Torah, but it is carried out by human minds, using inherited methods of interpretation and judgment. We learn this from the famous Talmudic story of Tanur shel Achnai in Bava Metzia. Even when a bat kol, a heavenly voice, declared the halachah, the sages refused. Why? Lo b'shamayim hi, the law must be determined by people, using Torah's own tools.
That's such a vital point. And it brings me to another question, maybe a little uncomfortable. In today's world where everything is accessible, books, responsa, SMS responsa even halakhic search engines, there's this illusion that anyone can just decide things on their own without asking.
That's a painful but real issue. People feel like if they can Google something or skim a Shulchan Aruch, they can rule on it. But that leads to exactly the problem we discussed. Ki yipale mimcha davar. Even when you feel in the know, the real process of halakha requires depth, structure, and humility. It's not just about reading what's written, black or white. It's about understanding, knowing how to interpret it, how to investigate and probe its meaning, how to derive, how to apply. And to be part of that space, to truly stand in it, you need a relationship. You need connection to someone who knows.
Right. Let's not walk around it. Every person needs a Rav, a Talmid Chacham. It's like this. You're at sea. The storm is raging. Your inner compass is spinning. Ki yipale mimcha davar la mishpat. So what do? You head for the lighthouse, the steady beam on the shore. That's hamakom asher yivchar Hashem. That place is manned by experts, deeply grounded in Torah. They don't give guesses or vibes. They guide based on maps and trusted tools, that is, the halachah. That's how you reach safe harbor.
I love the metaphor. And let me add, rabbinic and halachic leadership isn't just reactive. Analyzing the psukim of the parasha clearly shows that the Shoftim are meant to lead before problems arise. The Sanhedrin, the central place, was a hub of clarity, values, and guidance that helped individuals and society make better decisions from the start.
And we're back full circle, because that's what we said at the beginning. Even on the personal level, Elul calls on us to appoint a judge and officer in advance, not just to respond, but to guide ourselves forward with intention.
In the end, the two places, Sha'arecha and Hamakom Asher Yivchar Hashem, don't contradict. They complement each other. The gates represent your daily life, your personal world. The chosen place represents the collective center, the higher vision. You can't rely on only one. Focus only on your personal world, and you lose direction. focus only on the center, and you abandon personal responsibility.
Which is why the right path is both appoint inner judges and know when to seek outside wisdom. Use both your own discernment and the lighthouse on the shore.
So to summarize, Parashat Shoftim teaches that justice is not only a system, it's a way of life. It's a practice of constant awareness, honesty, and elevation. That's how we build ourselves and a society that can hold complexity with strength and compassion.
And in Elul, with the gates wide open, we're invited to do just that, to examine where we need self-discipline and where we need to reach out to the place Hashem will choose.
If you look at the closing words of the passage, you'll see where it leads. Leman tichyeh. V'yarashta et aret, so that you may live and inherit the land. This is the way to true life, with strong gates and a clear path forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thanks to our amazing listeners.
Wishing you all Chodesh Tov.
And Shabbat Shalom.
Hamelech Basadeh.
Can I go back to singing now?